Once again, Julia and I spent the winter in Mexico. We left Boston in the middle of December and flew down to Puerto Escondido for 3 months. Here are a few pictures of the apartment we rent. Just like in Stonington, last house on a dead-end street. Also just like in Stonington, right next door to a lighthouse. Here are a few photos from the back, from the water side. You can see the hammock. That's our unit. Julia puts the hammock to good use studying her Spanish. Here's the view at sunset. As some of you may remember, I did do a video from Puerto last year. If you haven't seen it or just want to relive the experience, you can look it up online. The three main pieces of feedback I got were 1, more food, 2, more special effects, and 3, people wanted to hear me say the word palapa more frequently. I have tremendous respect for my audience, and I don't intend to disappoint you. So the pool gets a lot of use. Here's Julia going for her afternoon swim. Oh my God! Oh my God! Run for your lives! Run for your lives! Julia and I got to Puerto just in time for their annual blessing of the fleet, just like we have in Stonington. Here's another view out the back. As you can see, we're up on a cliff. Oh my God! The biggest difference this year in Puerto was that, in large measure, due to the success of my last video, we had lots of friends come down and visit us this year. This is a party we had when 4 friends from Stonington came down for a week. Our friends Jim and Barb came down from New York for the month of January. Here we are next door visiting our neighbor Terry, and we're admiring a new mural that he had done. Our neighbors Ed and Elaine from Stonington came down for the month of February. Our friends Steve and Elizabeth came down from Boston for the month. We've also made some good friends in Puerto, and it's fun to hang out with them and cook. Julia made these hats for somebody's birthday. Here's the scene from the pool at night. You can see the fishing boats bobbing in the distance. Here's a little scene at sunset from the beach. Now you're probably wondering, when we do all this entertaining, what is it we cook? Well, the mangoes are really terrific down here, and Julia makes a great spicy mango salsa, and I make a pretty tasty mango mint crisp. And let's not forget the frozen mango daiquiri with real Cuban rum. And hey, if you want to add a little cream to cocoa, go ahead, you're on vacation. The shrimp are really good down here. As you see, they come con la cabeza. The shrimp make a pretty tasty shrimp ceviche, or here are some grilled shrimp with some rice and beans, pretty classic treatment. This is some arrachera that we're grilling. That's a marinated skirt steak, another very tasty item. So, I know what you're thinking. And as I said, I don't intend to disappoint. Here we are at the beach at sunset in front of a palapa, and I bet you're thinking, gee, I bet in a fire these things really go up. Well, you're right. In January, we came across this sad scene of a palapa in town burning, and unfortunately there's not much of a fire department here. Finally, after coming here for 6 or 7 years, Julia and I decided which beach we like best, and that's Bacocho. Here it is at sunset. There happens to be a great little beach club there called the Club de Playa Villa Sol, and fortunately, no waiting list. We were able to join for the 3 months we were there. You can see they have massages, very rejuvenating apparently. They also have a pool, hammocks, a restaurant, Wi-Fi. We spend a lot of time underneath the palapa in these hammocks. Here's what my view from the hammock looks like most of the time. It is a pretty good place to catch up on your reading. The club has a restaurant palapa, and here's a palapa for the bar. Here's the Wi-Fi palapa, and there's another palapa here for the bathrooms. And here are 4 or 5 palapas for enjoying a cocktail and watching the sunset. Hora de Feliz is very popular.
Los piña colada.
The pina coladas are particularly tasty, and you can see why. Coconuts couldn't be fresher.
This is the life.
On On Wednesday nights, after the sun sets, they have movies at the beach. So up goes the movie screen. They set it all up with chairs and the like. We did see a really terrific movie this year. It's called Searching for Sugar Man. It's about a musician named Sixto Rodriguez. Look it up on Netflix. The other thing that happens at the beach at the end of the day is a turtle release. People collect the eggs before they're hatched, and 45 days later, you get these little golf ball-sized turtles. You take them in a half a coconut shell. Here you can see Julia going down to the starting line, and you release them, and they make their way down to the sea. I guess it's no surprise that they move a little slowly. Let's see if we can't speed it up a little bit. Julia put a lot of time into Spanish lessons. Fortunately, this language school happened to be right next door to the best bakery in Puerto, so I was able to do some important work of my own. Something else new this year was a boat trip we took out to see some sea life. We came upon a big pod of dolphins. These are actually spinner dolphins. You can see not only do they jump out of the water, but they do earn their name of the spinner dolphin. And just in case you missed it, here it is in slow motion. We're also lucky enough to see a whale. This is a mother humpback and her baby. They migrate down the coast of Mexico in early winter and then back north later in the season. Speaking of the sea, there was a clip that everyone liked last year, which I was able to dig out of the archive. This is how they beach the fishing boats in Puerto Escondido. I see I'm going to have to stop storing these tapes in the basement. They are a little bit worse for wear. I did have a lot of video last year for the market, so I'll try not to repeat myself, but it is a great spot. Here are some women making tortillas the old-fashioned way, and here is the knife sharpener that's half a bicycle that he pushes around and sharpens knives. We do have a big supermarket in Puerto. Here are the limes, 16 pesos a kilogram, so that's $1 for 2.2 pounds of limes, which is about 30 limes. You do the math. They also have a great flower market in Puerto Escondido, and I have to say it came in very handy at Valentine's Day this year. There's no Harry Winston here in Puerto, so I wasn't able to procure for Julia the usual bauble. So these lilies had to suffice. Speaking of Valentine's Day, our neighbors from Stonington are in the Rotary Club, and there happens to be a big Rotary Club here in Puerto. So we went to their Valentine's Day dinner dance. When we're not cooking, there are some great restaurants, and this is one of our favorites, the Tropicana Taqueria. They do one thing here, but they do it very well. Tacos al pastor, tacos in the style of the shepherd, and that's what we think of as gyros. Here it is fresh little cuts of meat. It happens to be beef and pork. The guy hand turns it on this little spit, and it's roasting in front of, those are real hardwood coals. So it gets nice and toasty on the edge, and he slices off a few slices, and that's what makes its way onto your taco. You can see it's a fairly nondescript restaurant. Here's Julia. That's the great salsa it comes with. You get 5 of these for $3. Another favorite restaurant of ours is El Nene. They serve some really terrific fish. Here's a piece of dorado on the grill, and my friend back there is preparing some shrimp and chipotle sauce. Here are the shrimp on the grill, sizzling right next to the dorado. And here are the shrimp on the plate underneath that delicious chipotle sauce, salad, and a baked potato. Here we are at a little palapa restaurant with our neighbors Felix and Cherie. And if you want a little closer look at what's on my plate, there's the Huachinango entero. Well, I'll leave you with a few shots of the turtles making their way back to the sea. And just like last year, we'd love to get more people down to Puerto. So don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. We'll see you next year in Mexico.